He goes, the person I'm speaking to is only 28 years old, has represented her country 193 times already across all formats. In ODI cricket, she averages 55 with 14 tons, 15 50s and a high score of 152 not out.
Not bad.
In T20 cricket, she averages 36 with 2 tons, 13 50s and a high score in T20 cricket of 133 not out. Did well that day. She's the absolute worldie of the Australian women's team, debuting for her country at 18, scoring a ton in her second game, captaining the country at 21. She leads a team that's won Ashes, World Cups, and is currently on an unbelievable streak of 21 ODI wins in a row. So, with good reason, she's now decided to give an interview to 2 third graders from a good while ago.
100%.
It's Meg Lanning. Meg, welcome to The Grade Cricketer.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Just for the benefit of all listeners there, that's the second time I've done that intro, and Meg's just had to endure that. Yeah,
but the first time was so much better as well.
Yeah, exactly. Still get the laughs, I called it. So, Meg, you debuted for Victoria in 2008, age 16. Now, all listeners will know that, because of the rough and tumble ritual of grade cricket, you have to go through every grade before playing for your state. So I can only guess you debuted in grade cricket at age 9 or so?
I think I might have been 11 or 12, something like that anyway. And I think debuted in second grade for Box Hill, my team in Melbourne. And I don't think I made many runs the first couple of goes. So I spent till the first season in second grade, and then went up to first grade, and then, made my way to the Victorian team, which is great.
What's the conversation like at 11 or 12 years of age when presumably your parents say, look, I think you're ready for twos?
Yeah.
Well, Mum and Dad were always very supportive, but and we're all a very competitive family as well. So I think Dad was pretty pumped that I got to play in the senior team, and second grade was pretty good. So I think it was all really exciting. To be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just going to play cricket, which I loved, and it just happened to be second grade at the time.
We often hear, Meg, about the girls being put into the first grade, the first 11 team, their school team, from a young age as well. I'm guessing that you had the exact same situation. I'm not even going to ask you if you did do that. I'm going to presume you did. So how old were you when you played for your first 11 school team?
I think I was 14 at the end of year 9.
There it is.
So I played with the boys from year 7, and then I got picked in the first 11 at the end of year 9, which was a really challenging experience. I was bowling pretty fast. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I remember facing Lewis Cameron one day in the first 11, and he I think he played first 11 cricket at Essendon, and I'm not sure I actually saw the ball when he was bowling. It sort of hit me rather than me hitting it, but that was always good fun.
And look at him now; he's a cricket journo, and you're
captain.
So who really won that? Well, Meg, I mean, I've been doing a bit of digging on this. Like, I'm sure you're probably tired of questions about playing against boys and that kind of stuff. So I hope I brought a different angle to this. But everyone knows you're an absolute worldie with the bat. But I'm told during school you used to roll down a few questionable meds too. So we have done some digging here, and there was one moment when these meds got the better of a first 11 captain at one of these prestigious schools. Now, I just want to know whether you were aware of the sheer fear these boys would have been feeling, like for toxic masculinity reasons.
Yeah, brittle.
At the prospect of being dismissed by a female in year 9 or 10 bowling meds, I'm sure. And did you feel like you actually were able to burgle a few overs just because of their fear as well and keep the run rate down? Like, what sort of fear did you see in their eyes?
Yeah, I knew they were pretty nervous, to be honest. It actually gave me a really good advantage because they clearly didn't want to get out to me, so they didn't play any shots. I bowled some absolute pies too, but they didn't manage to hit them because I think they were too worried about getting out. I was able to get a few wickets back in the day when I was a bowler. I'm retired now, by the way. I quite enjoyed that, actually. Well, I didn't have many expectations, but they were they were so nervous. So I sort of, jumped on that, and I was able to sneak a few wickets along the way too.
Like, everyone we speak to just absolutely just dominates, club cricket, and rightfully so, because they're all wonderful internationals. Last week we spoke to Sir Curtly Ambrose. I just call him Curtly now because we're close personal friends. But he took 115 wickets in a club season for a club which he actually forgot the team's name, which is part of the whole thing, I think, for Curtly. Let me read something I read from January 2017, 2019, Meg. Meg Lanning celebrated her return to Premier Cricket by establishing a new record score of 244 for Box Hill against Plenty Valley at City Oval. Meg and sister Anna, 85, put on 218 for the opening partnership. Meg's innings wins eclipse her previous record of 241 not out against Melbourne in 2012-13. She faced 145 balls, hit 39 fours and 2 sixes. Plenty Valley were never in the hunt, chasing Box Hill's massive 2 for 384 and finished 9 for 192. I mean, how satisfying is it to play a game where you outscored the opposition?
I love going back and playing club cricket for a number of reasons.
Evidently.
Our club at Box Hill's always good fun, and I guess the bat with Anna as well is a good thing. And that was just one of those days, I guess, where I got us through a bit of a flyer, and then once you get in, you just keep going. And 50 overs is a very long time. And so I was just able to keep going. So it's always a bit of fun when I go back, and I was able to get a few that day, which was nice.
Got a few.
Yes. Just before we get into the sort of your current stuff, Meg, again from when you were younger, you moved from Sydney to Melbourne for high school, but not before playing in a junior side with Ellyse Perry. All cricketers know that, it's not just about where you finished, it's about where you started and all the sort of social status that's kind of contained within. Right. And as you describe it, you opened the batting with Ellyse, but she was the superstar and the captain. So just again, is it great to know that you're now her skipper and therefore the alpha of that relationship?
100%.
I've never really thought about that. When we played, it was the Sydney North, the regional team that we were in.
You remember the team?
I remember the team, and that was my first actual cricket tournament. So I was very much new to the game, but Ellyse Perry was sort of the name that everyone talked about being the superstar, and she certainly was back then and still is now. We opened the batting. She knew all the rules. I remember this one game. I actually got out caught, I think, and she actually noticed that there were 3 fielders behind square leg, and that's not allowed, obviously. So she told the umpire, and I was actually called back to the crease. So she helped me out that day. Looking back, it was it's pretty cool. We played together then and still playing together now.
Just with that dismissal, were you caught behind square, or you'd actually just tried to loft one straight and Ellyse still remember?
No, I don't think I was caught behind square. I think I was caught somewhere else. But I didn't even know that was the rule at the time. So I'm glad she was switched on because it saved me.
Awesome.
Meg, just going over your career, you played for Australia somehow already for 10 years, even though you're only 28. 5 World Cups, captained 3 of those, 3 Belinda Clark medals. You're the youngest Australian male or female to score an international 100, youngest World Cup winning captain. Meg, this is some Bradman shit we're on here. We're talking absolute domination of the game. Are you aware of the legacy you've already created? And do you have any more goals? What I'm asking, why are you still playing? You've done everything.
To be honest, when you sort of put that list together, it's been a pretty good 10 years. I was
It's pretty good.
When I came into the team, we were extremely successful to start off with, and I was playing with some incredible players who sort of set the foundation for us to be playing now. And even now we've got some incredible world-class players and some really good young players coming through, which I think has probably been the thing for us, which has allowed us to keep being successful as the young players coming in and really performing straight away. So, it's an exciting time. I guess the next thing on the horizon is that 50 over World Cup. We obviously exited the last one in not a great way, I guess. So that's probably the one thing driving me and the team at the moment. So we look forward to that.
You do seem driven because that team seems driven because you've won 21 games in a row, and you're absolutely unstoppable. I got a 2-pronged question on that. The women's team is so professional now. So are you aware that we now expect you to win every single fixture you play and experience a visceral reaction if you don't? And then 2, do you embrace the idea that the Australian women's team now plays such an important role in helping us all feel safe through winning cricket?
Yep.
We certainly enjoy winning and want to win as much as we can. So, that's something we obviously try to do. But I think we also have a lot of fun enjoying each other's company as well as a squad. We've got a really good crew together, and it's been nice to be able to get that streak going, I guess. As a team, we want to go out there and win, and hopefully there's plenty more down the track too.
I mean, 21 wins in a row is quite something. It actually equals Ponting's team's record, doesn't it? I mean, but you're already prepared to, berate the team for the loss that you're never going to have, or are you going to say, well, it's a loss we had to have?
Oh, well, I sort of am of the
Which one of those two?
You got to lose it eventually. I mean, hopefully it's not the next one. Hopefully we can get the record. We actually don't know when that next game is, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we're not really sure, but we are going to lose eventually. That is the nature of the game. But hopefully we've still got one more win in us before that happens.
Because you're supposed to have India, isn't it, in January? That's what's supposed to happen. So I mean, if that does go ahead, what are we looking at here? Clean sweep?
At least.
Yep. Oh, geez, I hope so.
Yeah, I got to yes. Yep.
So much up in the air at the moment. India obviously planned to come out to Australia, but we haven't had confirmation on that yet. So we're just sort of waiting and watching to see when our next game is. But I know we're all looking forward to it. So hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Meg, here's the thing I want to know.
Okay,
so
here we go.
As you know, like earlier this year, a report came out naming the Australian women's team Australia's favourite team, or at least we have the greatest emotional connection to that team. And you speak so well, and all the teammates speak so well about the fun you guys have and how lovely you guys are as people. But we are Australian cricket fans after all, and you guys have won 21 in a row and are completely unstoppable. I mean, there's got to be a ruthless edge to it, like what are the skeletons, within that side, what are the not skeletons, take us into the dark recesses.
Who's got demons?
What is it that makes this Australian side so hard edged and just unbeatable at the moment?
Yeah, I mean generally we're very competitive individuals within the team, but there's a lot of unique personalities as well, which I think bring a lot of different things to the team, both on and off the field. Players like Megan Shute, who is a great fit for the team, but she says it how it is. Exactly what she's thinking all the time, which I think is an important part of it as well. And like the young kids coming in, Sophie Molyneux, Georgia Ware, and players like that who just come in and lighten the place up a bit. So we're competitive no matter what we're doing. I mean, we're in the hub at the moment. We've got table tennis and basketball and cards and things like that, and everyone just wants to win. So it's probably not surprising that on the field we do the same thing.
You mentioned a couple of great players there in the squad. Obviously, you grew up with Ellyse Perry, who was obviously always going to be the gun. You're a gun yourself. And then you've got young Annabelle Sutherland, who got herself into the World Cup squad as well, World Cup winners medal for the T20 World Cup just gone. I mean, like, how good could she be? Because I know there's massive raps on her. Yeah,
she's going to be extremely good. Just in the last year, having been able to train sort of full time, having finished school, she didn't finish last year. Having finished school, so she's been able to train properly. She's really good athletically, can move really well, really strong, and her skills are incredible as well. Just the power she's got with the bat, it's actually quite dangerous batting at the other end sometimes. She can hit it back pretty hard. So it's going to be really exciting to see where she ends up. But I've got no doubt she'll be a superstar down the track.
Have you noticed the change in the sort of celebrity of the team after the World Cup? It was obviously such a massive event, and the way it was timed, I suppose, as well in terms of the pandemic. It was sort of the last major world sporting event just before everything sort of went the way it did. I mean, have you guys noticed just in the street, individually being recognised more, and as a team as a whole, like that sort of level of celebrity has been lifted or elevated?
Yeah, I think so. No doubt about that. We got quite lucky with the timing of the game. 3 days later, we probably wouldn't have had it. So I guess it is the last big sporting event that happened in Australia, and that has probably helped us as well in a way. It's sort of the lasting memory. So certainly, getting recognised a little bit more, and even in the media and things like that. There's a lot more interest in the game, and the recent series against New Zealand, and now the Big Bash as well. So I think that's only a good thing for the game and women's sport in general, and hopefully it can continue to improve.
Because it was 86,000 people, wasn't it, for the final? Then 3 days later, sort of it all kicked off. So what I'm saying is the women's team responsible for the lockdown in Melbourne?
Oh, well, apparently there was someone at the game that had COVID. I mean, we were walking around over hugging people, high-fiving, nothing was going on. So who knows? I don't think we were responsible, but geez, if it was there, it was probably going to keep going. But I'm so glad that it was 3 days later and not that night.
Yeah, Katy Perry had COVID. That's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's Dan Andrews' fault. Meg, just on that as well. Like that was the crowning moment of the Australian cricket summer, without doubt. Just in time before COVID really hit. Do you have any sense of how the hit to the game's finances might affect women's cricket? I know there's been a lot of talk about that worldwide, and if not, like, what sort of confidence do you have that administrations home and abroad will protect the women's game?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I think even just like with the Big Bash that's happening at the moment, we've still got every game being played. They've done everything they can to get that up and running. So I think that's a really good sign. And I think, the women's game is really important to cricket in driving numbers, both participation and crowds as well. So I think sort of the boards around the world are seeing that. And, I'm very confident that won't drop off. It might look slightly different to the next couple of years just to get back on our feet, I guess. But, I think Cricket Australia's done an excellent job in growing the women's game, and I don't think they're going to let that slip.
Just on the WBBL, Meg, we know that Sydney's doing what it does and just deciding to rain, hopefully raining whenever there's a game on. But we know that there's been sort of plenty of activity within and between teams in relation to taking a knee before play. That's been a big topic of conversation, and we know it's being handled team by team. Like, can you just give an insight into what those conversations look like, and maybe as Aussie skipper, how you're approaching it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussions around it. I think that's a really good thing. Trying to create awareness and education around, standing up against racism and diversity within the game and society as well. And each team has sort of taken a slightly different stance. We are united in standing against racism, but it probably looks slightly different for each team. The captains of each team have sort of caught up and had a chat around what that looks like, and whether some people take a knee or don't take a knee, it's sort of their individual decision, but everyone's sort of supported in whatever they choose to do. But it's very clear from everyone here that we want a diverse game, and we want anyone to be able to come and play and feel comfortable, and hopefully we can influence a few people, I guess, in society to try and make sure that we're standing up against racism, and we're really supportive of that.
That's really good and really encouraging to hear. We noted a few days ago that Justin Langer had actually, the Aussie coach, had sought out Adam Goodes to try and learn more and educate himself a little bit more, and he sort of said of his own volition that the men's team hadn't I don't actually know his exact words, I don't have them in front of me, but essentially, not done well enough the last time this issue came up. Do you feel sort of as Aussie skipper a responsibility to educate yourself a little bit more or anything like that in terms of how you individually approach it, particularly given Justin Langer and other leaders are sort of doing things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important. And as an Australian squad, it sort of started back in Feb this year, where we took part in the Barefoot Circle, an Indigenous game in Canberra. And we did a little bit of education around that. We've obviously got Ash Gardner within our squad. He's very passionate about it, and is really helping us to learn more about it. And I guess that's the most important point, is that we're trying to educate ourselves a little bit more and learn more about the culture and also celebrate the Indigenous culture as well. I think sometimes we can talk about some of the issues that are going on, and they're really important to know about and try and change. But I think there's also a lot to celebrate within the Indigenous culture as well, and learn about what they believe in and that sort of stuff. So as an Australian squad, and hopefully it filters down through state squads as well, where we're trying to learn as much as we can so we feel more comfortable talking about it. And it might be asking questions perhaps that we're not really sure about, but if we can learn more about it, then I think that's going to be a good thing for cricket and society as well.
Yeah, I love that. I think obviously the Women's Big Bash, the WBBL, has been so successful here in Australia, and for cricketers all around the world to come here as well to play. And then we've seen recently that the IPL are going to set up, the Women's IPL is going to be played in November or run concurrently at the same time as the WBBL. I mean, how do the players feel about that?
Yeah, obviously we'd love to be part of both, if it was possible. And unfortunately this year it clashed. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case moving forward as well. Hopefully it's not. I think there's enough time within the calendar to have different windows for the WBBL and the IPL, and hopefully sort of the board can communicate and sort of get a bit of a plan together moving forward, because I think it's really important that the best international players are available to play in the WBBL, the IPL, and probably the 100 coming up over in the UK. I think they're sort of the three big ones, and I think there's enough time within the calendar to allow for that to happen. So I think that's going to kick off pretty soon. That IPL stuff. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. But India obviously play a really big role in cricket, and hopefully down the track we can all be a part of it.
Really big role they play. Actually,
quite a big role. Yeah.
Meg, it's been a huge honour for us to speak with you, the Aussie skipper. You're obviously doing Bradman style things. We've loved talking about that. Please keep winning, and please keep scoring runs because it makes us all feel safe. 100%. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.